What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Music Tips and Reviews with JG. I always appreciate y'all for watching. Always tuning in to my content. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Always appreciate your support. Throughout the years I've been on YouTube, and I love doing these top 10 categories. I've did so many now, and so it's good to do these live, to get y'all input on, these topics. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. And also, if you have a super chat is available. And also a Cash App, if you want to Cash App me to support my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And so we're gonna get into it. Hopefully some people come in and let me know their top producers of all time. So we're gonna get into it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. And so, as y'all know, I'm a songwriter producer myself. Started around 2005, really producing. And it's a lot of producers throughout my time, being influenced, to be a producer, that has influenced me as far as my creativity, as far as music. And I couldn't put all my influences in this top 10, but I wanted to put my top 10, producers that really inspire me. So I may have a few bonus producers. So, that I may cram into this, into this live stream. Let me know your top producers. On this show. So we're gonna get straight into it. So, as y'all know, I'm from VA. A lot of great producers, and this production group, has really inspired me. Their sound, just their uniqueness, their textures and their music, really inspired me throughout the years, especially the beginning of my production career. And that's the Neptunes. Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo, they're from my side. VA, just their sound was so different. Like if you listen to Use Your Heart by SWV, it sounds totally different from the rest of their production that they had done, later on in their career. But, I just loved the production that they did, from Use Your Heart to Super Thug to Slave for You for Britney Spears. Just an incredible catalog of songs, that go down history. The songs they did with Jay-Z, Give It To Me, and just so many great songs they did. Change Clothes. So many songs they did for a lot of different artists, especially for Snoop Dogg. Songs they did for Snoop Dogg in the past. And so so that's one of my top, the Neptunes. So that's them. The next one, really inspired by a lot of videos I've seen of this guy's work ethic. May he rest in peace. But I have to say, Prince is very inspiring. Just how many songs he put out, how many albums he put out, really inspired me to just be creative. No matter what comes out those speakers, it's something magical because it's very organic and it's something, you just thought off the top of your head. And that's what, Prince inspired me, just get out those thoughts, finish it, just have a good work ethic. So many songs he produced in the 80s, From The Time to, Shaka Khan, I Feel For You. A lot of people don't know he wrote that song for Shaka Khan. Just so many songs that he done and has influenced so many artists of today. And so, Prince. As we go into the 70s, the 1970s and the 80s, this production duo produced so many, they were staples, in the music production community. If Only You Knew, Love Train, a lot of the Teddy Pendergrass, hits, Gamble and Huff. They were, awesome producers in the 80s and the 70s. Just a huge staple. Really influenced a lot of the other producers that I'm going to talk about later on in this show. So I may have like 13 top 10 on my top 10 list, but I just want to do some bonus producers as well. If you're tuning in now, appreciate y'all for watching. I'm on Gamble and Huff. Gamble and Huff is one of my top all-time producers. Production duo. So many songs. Just the warmness of their music. And of course, they were activists. In their time. Activists. You look at all those records they got on their wall. So many hits. People sample, from Gamble and Huff. And so, they're on my top 10 music producers of all time. And like I said, as you come in and tune in, let me know your top producers, that you will pick on your list of producers. So this next one, this next producer really inspired me to produce. I saw him in the studio, very hungry, from the beginning. Saw him on, Diary of Kanye West on MTV. So it's Kanye West. Kanye West is on my top 10 music producers of all time. Not only when he produced himself, but when he incorporated a lot of producers to produce with him, it still was that Kanye West sound. And, it just inspired me, the hunger that he had, ever since the beginning of his career is still there, even though he may act crazy now. But I'm still a huge fan of Kanye West as a producer, as a songwriter. He really inspired me to produce, because I didn't know, you can put the beats together yourself. You can put all these things together to create a production. So I gotta say Kanye West. So on my top 10. So these are not in no particular order. It's no ranking. These are just the top 10 that has influenced me, that influenced my, been an influence in my life as a producer, music producer. And like I said, leave a comment who your top producers, leave a super chat. And that's available as well. And so this next one, huge producer, from Chicago to Whitney Houston to Barbra Streisand. I love the song he did, Dave Foster. So if you don't know Dave Foster, do your homework. Please do your homework. So many hits, so many hits that he's done, from, For You I Will, for Monica, Have You Ever for Brandy, Somewhere, like I said, Somewhere for Barbra Streisand, I Will Always Love You for Whitney Houston, Chicago, Inspiration, After the Love Is Gone. I can go on and on. I study these catalogs from these producers, and they, like I said, really inspired me, because I was the type, you know, you get an album, you look at the credits and see, you know, what producers, you know, produce what. And so, you know, they really inspired me as a producer. So many songs he did for Celine Dion. You know, he produced stuff for Celine. And just the cleanness, I can't forget Shaka Khan Through the Fire. He produced that as well. And just the cleanliness of his production, it's just really like quality. And, you know, he did a lot of that stuff himself. You know, Dave Foster. So yeah, Dave Foster is on my top 10. And like I said, you know, leave a comment what you know, producers that you think should be on, you know, that's in your top 10. And I'll shout you out. So yeah, David Foster. Yeah, David Foster is a beast. Next one, I had to put these two together. You know, these two created the greatest album of all time, Thriller album. These two just went on nowhere before Thriller. They both produced Off the Wall. That was an incredible album as well. So I had to give it to, I had to put these together. Quincy Jones and Rod Temperton. I would say, and I'm gonna be honest, I have to say Rod Temperton, because he wrote and produced a huge amount of Thriller and Off the Wall. And then, you know, you think about Heat Wave. You think about Anita Baker. He produced Mystery for Anita Baker. There's so many great songs, Rod Temperton. But I love Quincy. Quincy is the mastermind behind a lot of, you know, Michael's, you know, artistry. You know, for, you know, Frank Sinatra, George Benson. You know, so many movie scores. Color Purple. You know, he scored, you know, as far as composing, I have to give it up to Quincy Jones. But as far as the production, Rod Temperton, songwriting, you know, Rod Temperton, just amazing, you know, amazing producer, Rod Temperton. Yeah, and just amazing he did on Thriller and Off the Wall is incredible. Just the way, you know, you hear stories about the way Rod Temperton wrote Thriller, you know, the main song Thriller was incredible. That story was very incredible, how he did that. So yeah, they on my list. Quincy Jones, Rod Temperton. Next one on my list, New Jack Swing. You know, New Jack Swing. I gotta put Teddy Riley. You know, he really influenced a lot of producers. Just the sound, just his drums, just really, his drums was really like out there, very innovative. You know, inspired Pharrell, inspired Teddy Riley, inspired Darkchild. Just the influence he had on a lot of producers. You know, a lot of songs I didn't know he produced until later on, like High Five. I didn't know he did that. I like the way, you know, the stuff he did for Guy, Blackstreet. You know, just so many. You know, Johnny Kemp, Keith Sweat, Michael, Bobby Brown, My Prerogative. Just so many songs in his catalog. Jane Child, you know, just the list goes on. You know how many songs, you know, in his catalog, and I just love his production, the way his drums hit, the way, you know, his production is very infectious. You know, it just makes you groove. So yeah, Teddy Riley is one of my top producers of all time. He was a producer all time. So yeah, Teddy Riley. Yep. Next one. So as far as melodies, as far as top line, as far as just that melody you can't get out your head. And I have to put these as a whole group, together. And like I said, leave comments, on producers that you love. But I have to give it to LaFace. So yeah, I gotta give it to LaFace, Babyface, L.A. Reid, Daryl Simmons, that whole team. Karen White, Superwoman, Don't Be Cruel, Can We Talk, I'm Ready. Just all those songs that they produced, even Babyface, Tender Lover album, Tony Braxton album, Bobby Brown, just so many, Rock Steady, Two Occasions, just so many songs. I can't even think of Always in My Heart for, Tevin Campbell. There's so many incredible songs, out of their catalog, LaFace. And, a lot of people don't talk about Daryl Simmons. He played a big part in that production team as well. Everybody always says Babyface and L.A. Reid, but Daryl Simmons is a huge part of that team as well. And so yeah, LaFace. So we're gonna get to the next one. The next one is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Huge catalog from Janet to Michael to Alexander O'Neal, Sherelle, Shantae Moore, Yolanda Adams. Just an incredible amount of catalog from them two. Dynamic duo. What else? End of the Road, Boys to Men. So many great songs from them. So I had to put them on the list. One of my greatest. No words can describe them. It's just incredible. Their catalog, especially their Janet Jackson catalog is, Usher, stuff they did for Usher. You Remind Me, Bad Girl, Seduction, all those songs are incredible. And so next I gotta go back to VA. And this guy, he's about to get inducted to the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Timbaland, incredible, unique, organic sound, that came from VA. The sound of Missy, the sound of Aaliyah, Genuine, Jay-Z, did a lot of great songs for Jay-Z. And so, yeah, shout out to VA. Timbaland, one of my favorite producers of all time, really influenced me to just do my thing, create your own sound. The next one, Rodney Jerkins. Rodney Jerkins really influenced me. I remember when I first listened to Full Moon, it just really blew my mind. Like the production, just the cleanness of his production. Well, that whole group, Fred, LaShawn Daniels, Rodney, just that whole crew just really did an incredible job on Never Say Never, Full Moon, Invincible, Michael Jackson album. Just so many others, just so many great songs. Monica, Tony Braxton, Beyonce, Destiny Child, Say My Name. Huge catalog. And so this next one, Brian Michael Cox. He really, from the start, he really inspired me to produce R&B. I'll say he's the first one really, really inspired me to produce R&B. when I heard Danity Kane Ride For You, I was like, yeah, I gotta produce R&B. You know, the stuff he did for Usher, Mariah Carey, Be Without You, that was a huge one for him. So yeah, Brian Michael Cox. And so the last one on my list, Jermaine Dupri. If I say Brian Michael Cox, I gotta say Jermaine Dupri. So many big songs. Mariah Carey, Always Be My Baby. This list, Monica, Shoulda Known Better, Escape. You know, there's so many songs you can't. Usher, how can I forget Usher? Confessions, My Way album. You know, just the whole album. You know, the huge catalog that came from Jermaine Dupri is just crazy. And I believe, like, even though people are just talking about him now, I just always thought he was very underrated compared to people like Diddy or Dre, you know. And so, you know, this is my top 10. I think I did 13. I tried to slash a few bonus producers, but it's just so many others, you know, I want to put on a list, but these are like my main producers that I really look up to, that really inspire me as a producer, as a songwriter. And I had to cram 2 into 1 for some of these. And so I hope y'all like my top 10 or top 13 list of producers of all time. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I said, please subscribe to my channel, Music Tips and Reviews with JG. And until next time, all right, peace.